Good morning, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this online session in which we're going to be talking about data centers as the key to increase Spain's demand on renewable energy. I don't think it's, everybody knows essentially that the demand for energy is quite low in historical terms as compared to, I think it's even 2008. On the one hand, we thought that the demand of energy was going to go up, the electrical energy especially, but as it happens, it's exactly the same, and even some years goes lower and some years goes higher. So this is not really great in the context of organizing more and more projects of renewable energy within the system, which is why we're always looking for extra demand, that can be part of that growth of renewable energy in Spain. And also I'm quite familiar with other countries too, having sort of the same strategy and looking at the same situation. However, data centers are indeed very, very, very energy intensive and very water intensive. And with the upcoming of AI, it's getting harder and harder, I suppose, to keep up with the amount of server energy and water that is required. So today we're going to be talking to three experts about this topic, and I'd like for them to introduce themselves so that you can get to know them a little bit better. So first, I'd like to ask Juan Jose, please, if you could introduce yourself so people can get to know you.
Hello, well, nice meeting all of you. My name is Juan Samper. We are a team who's developing a project for a campus in the region of Madrid, and we are a campus of for data centers. I mean, and I don't know what else. I think better to
That's
develop
enough.
in
It's
the
okay. So you're
presentation.
going to be talking about your
Yeah.
campus and your data centers. So that's fine. Thank you very much, Juan Jose. The presentation I'll ask you now in a minute. This was just a quick presentation. Next, I'd like to ask Juan Carlos, please, if you can introduce yourself.
Hi, Belén. Good morning. Thank you for the invitation. This is Juan Carlos from Pylontech. Pylontech is a vertically integrated manufacturer of storage systems from the cell to the final product, okay, from China.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Juan Carlos. And next, I'd like to ask Ángel. You can't see Ángel. Unfortunately, his camera ceased to work today. It's on strike, but you will be able to hear him. Ángel, please, could you introduce yourself?
Hi, everyone. Yes, my name is Ángel Castro. I'm BESS, which means Battery Energy Storage Solutions Director at iQuord. iQuord is in Spanish integrator, so we provide turnkey solutions with every equipment you may need in a battery energy storage plant, as well as many other services, which I will try to summarize later on. And please excuse my camera not working.
Okay, thank you very much to the three of you. So now you guys that are attending, you can see we have the three experts. I'm going to give you just some housekeeping. Please, your questions, if you can send them through the Q&A box at the bottom, we will try to get to as many as possible after the three presentations. We'll have three presentations by Juan Jose, by Juan Carlos and Ángel, and then after that, we'll take questions, okay? So I think it's important that we talk about, on the one hand, the amount of opportunity that comes up, with this rise in demand, and also where this opportunity may be. And hopefully you guys have questions about this. And thank you very much for keeping introducing yourselves. You can take now the slide off if you like, Maria, please. And I'll ask Juan Jose, please, could you unmute your microphone and prepare your presentation so that we can go with the presentations? And whilst Juan Jose is preparing his presentation, just a reminder that we're recording the session and that both the materials and the recordings will be available and will be sent to you thereafter. And if you are in YouTube, you are welcome to send us your questions in the chat. Juan Jose, are you ready?
Ready. I'm sharing my presentation.
I can't see it yet. There we go. Now it's loading.
Okay.
Can you put it in full screen?
It's
yeah,
in full
perfect.
screen.
Now it's perfect. Thank you. Go right ahead.
Okay. Well, Digital Valley of Spain is a project that born inside the industry, meaning the digital infrastructure industry of Spain, where the changes and the new challenges for this industry having to change the way to develop the way to build and the types of data centers that are requested by the market. So right now, if you look at the Spanish market, right now there are 160, 170 megawatts IT, I mean, right now in Spain, and operating megawatts IT, I mean, and most of them are based around Madrid and dedicated to for what we call colocation. Colocation are a special type of data centers that are focused on, let's say, leasing spaces in very technological and complex buildings. The way things are changing in the industry requires right now a different type of data centers. For instance, today how things are evolving. Today the world sits at about 60 gigawatts of total data center. That's the IT demand. By the end of the decade, there will likely be demand for around 170 to 220 gigawatts. Well, in other words, capacity needs to more than triple. We are speaking that the demand constrained by supply is right now north of 250 gigawatts. So over there you can find the main, let's say, challenges of the for the industry. I don't know if we come back again here, we have to remind that the main requirements for the development of any data centers, colocation, hyperscalers, all these campus that we are trying to develop have several requirements that are linked to the connectivity, access to power, and the scalability. And those are the requirements, the main requirements that our project tried to fulfill. The first point related to connectivity, you have to think that Spain is the fifth country best connected in terms of subsea cables. The last one was is a grasshopper cable that lands north of Bilbao. And all these 34, today 35 cables connecting Madrid, that we choose the region of Madrid. On the other hand, speaking about power, you have to think in how the energy market is evolving in Spain, and right now is creating a huge opportunity in Spain. If we want, we can discuss a bit about how the price of PPAs are evolving, and I think that's a very interesting point about why Spain is the right place to be in order to develop this kind of infrastructure. Well, these are some of the particularities of our project, where it's located, how big it should be. And then I think I have to mention a couple of points that why we are trying to develop this kind of campus. The first is to fulfill the second requirement, mean the access to power. The good point of our project is that you can see on the picture on the well, if you're looking at the screen, on the right side, you can see there is a white point space inside the green area. That is a huge electrical substation, the biggest or second biggest in Spain, and that guarantee access to power. Bear in mind that if we're speaking about data centers, one of the main things or the main requirements from the client is a security of the connectivity to the data centers. So you have to create redundancy in terms of connectivity for sure, and second, in terms of power. And the only way to do that is to be near or next to, in this case, electrical substation. And the next point that I would like to develop a bit later is to develop your self-consumption or your own energy sources. We try to explain a bit what is happening in Europe and why still Madrid or Spain is the right place to be. And the second one is the third requirement is land. I spoke about the scalability, and when I'm speaking about the scalability, I'm speaking about the land uses. And when you are speaking about the data center in Europe, you have to bear in mind what the FLAP means. FLAP is, I guess all of you know, is an acronym for the data center regions, meaning Frankfurt, London, Amsterdam, and Paris, and recently Dublin. And right now, most of the developments, maybe I think 2/3 of the megawatts operating in Europe are in that area, but in those cities. But right now they are getting they cannot grow. They are saturated. For instance, right now in Amsterdam and Dublin, for different reasons, they are in moratoria and that they cannot develop any data center over there. In London, there are some other issues, and that's why right now the market is looking for second positions or second cities where to base the data centers. And one very important thing in Spain is that you have plenty of land, the cheapest energy all around Europe. Well, as I mentioned before, they're a very well connected place. One of the things that we to bear in mind is right now things are changing quite fast in our industry, and for instance, the density of the for the NIT room in a data center is multiplied in 3-4 years. Multiplying not by 2 or by 3, but we are speaking about 10 or 20. For instance, right now the average density per rack in the Spanish market, digital infrastructure, I mean, is around 4-5 kilowatts per rack. Roughly, that could be 5.5 square meters. It depends of the structure of the IT room. But things are changing quite fast. Right now, the gains in computing and the digitalization of the economy is growing very, very fast, and that means that the opportunities that are growing inside the United Room, it's demanding a bigger access to power. And for instance, right now there are some the density for the racks right now in the latest data centers that are being built in Spain is around 25 kilowatts per rack. So we're speaking about growing a lot. And right now I try to explain what a hub configuration is, that what how our industry is developing. As I mentioned, first data center were a company located or based their computers. Later, this developed to locate it in let's say computers or hotels, meaning and that's a colocation. Later, the services were provided directly from the data centers, and then we are speaking about hyperscalers that were developed for the very big tech companies as Google, Microsoft, Meta, and so on. And right now, these big players are the main developers in the market. Bear in mind that not very far away, well, this year, for instance, right now, these very big companies, the hyperscalers, are running about 26% of the data centers in Europe. They are leasing complete buildings for their data centers, and the percentage is 22%. So that means that the 52% are colocation data centers or enterprise data centers. And we think that about 2028, 2030, this will increase that the megawatts dedicated to hyperscalers could grow from this 48% of the megawatts to the 65% of the megawatts implemented in Spain, in Europe. Bear in mind that demand is growing very, very fast, and that today we expect that the demand for power at the end of 2024 in Europe could be around 10 gigawatts, and by 2030 we expect something about 35 gigawatts. So we are speaking that these hyperscalers are the ones who are driving the growth of the market. And the hyperscalers need this kind of a hub configuration because one of the main drivers of their growth is the developing of the AI, artificial intelligence, different apps, implementations, and so on. And well, our idea was to develop this kind of hub configuration because you don't have to dedicate plots of land to build data centers, but also you need to develop different services next to the data centers. We are speaking more than just a building. That's when you think about the location data centers you're thinking about, but about a kind of ecosystem. And that's how all the campuses that are right now being built in the USA or in China is how things are going to evolve. And one very important thing to bear in mind when speaking about the data centers is that the social impact. A bit later, I've shown you in a picture, which is the economic and social impact of this campus. I think Belen told me that I had to go faster.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I know that you have a lot of slides there, so I just wanted to give you sort of a 5-minute warning. You've gone a little bit over, but I can afford 5 more minutes. So please, sorry, Juan Jose.
No. Well, I introduce a kind of some slides speaking about the impact of energy. First, why we have to be next to a source of power, because I spoke about the redundancy for the data centers. And right now, if we are speaking about different types of data centers, Tier 4 needs to be, you're working 24 hours, 66 days per year, and that's why you need to be connected to a power station. But another very important thing is a huge commitment for the ESG goals of this industry. So that's why we develop a huge solar park in our area that be for self-consumption, not to be connected to the electric grid. That in Spain, that's a real issue. If we're speaking about renewables, anyone related to renewables in Spain know how difficult it is to connect to the national grid. We propose district heating. That's a way how we think that we can impact with we have not impact in terms of carbon footprint of our project. And something that we can think is that we are speaking of self-consumption, but also we think that the future of for the data centers, and in terms of how to manage the needs of energy, is through the energy storage. We are right now working with some companies to develop hydrogen plants. Those are some figures about the impact. As I mentioned before, the socioeconomic impact of the company is incredible. Bear in mind that the cost per megawatt for a data center, today's data center, is about more than something between, depends on the type of data center, from 8 to 12 million per megawatt. So if you think that we are thinking about developing something about 700 megawatts, you can bear in mind which is the impact in terms of GDP, PIB in Spanish, and the job creation. And finally, I would like to show some of the stakeholders of the project, and where you can see the energy sector. It's a huge and very important part of our project. And that's all. Sorry.
Thank you very much, Juan Jose. You had a good save there, like you went really fast there at the end. I do have a bunch of questions for you, and there are some very specific questions if you want to look at them. And perhaps some of them you can answer them by text, but I have some for you that we'll do later. Next, Juan Jose, please, if you can share your screen and do your presentation.
Sorry?
Oh, sorry, Juan Carlos. Juan Jose, Juan Carlos, there's too many Juans here. More Juans than women.
Too
in
many
this
ones,
webinar.
yeah.
All right.
Thank you.
So let me just put you mute and take a look, please, Juan Jose, at the questions, because there are some very specific about waste, heat recovery, and about connections and telecommunications that I think they're a little bit out of the scope, but my guess is that you're going to be able to answer them. Can you put that in large screen, please, Juan Carlos? Oh, there we go. Yes, perfect.
Again, just in case people join later, I am Juan Carlos González from Pylontech. Pylontech is a company vertically integrated and working on storage, LFP since 2010. Okay, so we are producing starting from the cells, making the modules on the storage system, on the rack. Also the racks, And also we have a set of products for the three segments: residential, CNI, and utility, and also a specific product for data center applications. Okay, I will give some details about this one during the presentation. My presentation should be fast. I will talk about the benefits, standard topology, and a summary. Okay, so I will also try to introduce each part of the best system. Okay, for understanding what the key parts are in the or working in this kind of solutions. Okay, so about benefits. Let me check. Let me move this here. Basically, energy optimization, okay, we can charge the battery when electricity is cheap and store it and use it when it's expensive. So we can somehow reduce the impact of the OPEX in this case. Even we can sell it and we can have different strategies, right? Not only use it as a backup for a data center, but also we can also play with energy by, as I said, shifting the energy or even doing a peak saving. Let's say we have a tariff where in Spain, for instance, we have a maximeter that penalizes the consumption on the use of the power. So in any case, we can use this best system to reduce the impact of these penalties coming from the utility company. Okay. Also, we can also do a full integration of renewable energies, for instance, to install, as Juan José said before, a PV site, and then manage this together with the batteries and optimizing the use of the energy. Okay, reducing the impact on OPEX. We can also have a smart, I mean, with this system, we have a smart energy management. We can remember with a UPS, for instance, we don't have this kind of solution. This is just a backup that triggers the functionality in case there is an issue on the grid. In this case, we can have this flexibility. And basically, BESS can be the center of the management of the electricity, even with different sources of energy from the grid, from a diesel generator, and also from a PV system or even hydrogen. Backup duration, as I mentioned, I mean, normally, we know UPS is working for few minutes, normally, just to give opportunity to a bigger system to feeding the energy to the data center. In this case, we can go from hours to days. At the end, this kind of system is scalable. So we can have, for instance, in our case, we have systems from 50 kilowatt hour in CNI that can be applicable to this solution to 5 megawatt hour. Okay, and then you can make an escalation on the product and have up to the needs of the system. Okay, even they can be indoor or outdoor. Okay, and being outdoor can be in a cabinet, so the solution can have a very small footprint or even a container. Okay. We will see later the parts, but there are some additional products, let's say, or needs, which is the PCS, the power conversion system, that can be also included on the solution, or an hybrid inverter to provide to manage, let's say, the PV side together with the BESS system. Okay. And also diesel generation, as I mentioned before, diesel generation integration. I mean, we can integrate the PV side together with the grid and also the diesel generator. We will see now a topology, a standard topology, having these four, let's say, sources of energy. Okay. A topology would be something like, okay, we'll have this data center, a typical one, connected to the grid. Then, if we implement the BESS system, we need here a PCS, which is a power conversion system. What is that? It's like an inverter, but it's a bidirectional system, which allows the energy to flow to the batteries and also to go outside to the batteries. So charge and discharge the batteries. In our case, for instance, we have a battery specifically for this kind of solutions for data centers, a bit out of the market, let's say, thanks to this C rate. Our system can allow a discharge of 3.6 C rate and a charge of 1 C rate. What does it mean? It means that this system I mean, of course, it's managing the energy, but it's a matter of power. How fast you can provide the energy to the system in this case. And this is somehow a non-standard solution. The 3.6 is not a normal solution. Normally, we can find in standard application 0.5C, 1C, or well, let's say below 1C, okay? Which is the ratio between the power and the energy you can manage with the system. We have also integrated in the battery system in the BMS, which is the battery management system that check the health and how the battery is in terms of charging, discharging, health, temperature, current, voltage, and so on. Okay, so this BMS will monitor the batteries to ensure that the system is working properly and there is no any problem. Okay, this also goes together if we put it in an envelope as a cabinet or a container. We will have a fire protection system, and we will have also cooling system that can be in two ways: air cooling system or liquid cooling system. Liquid cooling system allows us to increase the density of the energy store. Okay, let's put an example. For instance, for a 20-feet container with air cooling system, we can implement a capacity of 2.9 megawatt hour. Okay. Meanwhile, if we work with a liquid cooling system, we can go up to 5 megawatt hour. Okay. This liquid cooling system allows us to increase the energy density of the best system. And then the brain of the system, EMS, is the energy management system that will manage the whole structure. Let's say the battery, how the battery is charged, when it's charged, if there is any additional supply from diesel generator or PV side, this system can be set to manage all this energy, taking into account if you want to do, we need to do a backup, okay? We want to do another strategy, for instance, peak saving, and then reduce the OPEX thanks to the reduction of the consumption from the grid. Or also we can do energy management, energy shifting, okay, where we can charge the batteries when the electricity is lower, the price, and then discharge when it's more expensive, then also reducing the impact of the electricity bill, okay? As I said, we can have also a PV site with an inverter in this case. If we work with, as I mentioned before, if we work with container, for instance, this will be topology. If we work with a cabinet and the solution is smaller, let's say below 1 megawatt hour, then we can replace the PCAs and the inverter by a hybrid inverter where we can manage everything in one place, so reducing the capex. Okay. And let's say we have there's a problem here. We have an issue in the grid. We have an issue in the grid. So if we implement also a diesel generator with the PV side and the batteries, this ATS, which is an automatic transfer switch, or STS, static transfer switch, will allow the system managed by the EMS to work or to provide energy to the data center, allowing the system to keep running. Okay. As a summary, the best system increases the resilience and warranty of operational continuity in the face of any type of event, as I mentioned before. Also increase the efficiency and reduction of dependency on the grid. So at the end, if you can do this energy shifting, you can manage the energy or when you feed the system from the grid and then reducing the OPEX. Also, reduction of the carbon footprint and integration of renewable energies. Somehow, I mean, if you will have less use of the diesel generator in case of needs, so at the end you are reducing your carbon footprint, and also manage the energy in an intelligent way, right? Thanks to this EMS, you can play the strategy with the energy to be more efficient in your system, okay, and provide maximum efficiency. Flexibility, sorry. And that's all.
Thank you very much, Juan Carlos. Good point. About the battery side, which is what we're talking here about, really, like how data centers can benefit from this technology. Thank you very much for your presentation, Angel. If you
Thank
like,
you.
you can also share yours now. So for the last presentation, and please keep the questions coming. Hopefully we'll have some time at the end where we can answer some of the questions. I can see that Juan Jose is already answering some of them. Okay, you ready?
Okay, yes. If you can hear me, I can go
Yes, I
ahead.
can hear you and I can see you. So go right ahead.
Okay, reality is I will touch on a lot of the topics which my two colleagues have already mentioned, but I will try to do it, as you will see in my slides, in a very graphical or in a very graphical way. So first, I would like to do a very brief introduction of what our company does, and this is really relevant for you to see or to connect the activities in battery energy storage systems and data centers which iQuord deploys. So that's why it's relevant for me to explain to you a little bit about the background of the company. The company is located in Asturias, that's the north of Spain. We are located in Avilés, very close to the port, to the harbor, which is really convenient for sending all of the devices or equipment that we manufacture to any place in every place in the world. As you can see here, our global footprint is quite extensive, and this is not updated, so there are more countries right now. So these are all of the countries where any type of product manufactured by iQuord has been installed. And what type of products? This is what we are going to be seeing in the next slides. We have two main lines of activities. One we could call the industrial branch, and then we have the renewable branch. In the industrial branch, we include applications for energy, meaning, for instance, combined cycle power plants or wind farms, all these type of energy production sites. Also, facilities for mining, oil and gas, and data centers. We place these applications right in here. You are going to be seeing in the next slides very quickly just a few shots of what these type of products look like. So I think I didn't mention yet, but you know the core activity of iQuord is what we usually call modular buildings, also called e-houses. So an e-house is something which can have a very wide range variation of sizes, properties, and applications. In a nutshell, anything which you may need to be installed inside a shelter or an enclosure, that's what we do. That's what we do. So you can see here, for instance, control centers, as I mentioned before, for combined cycle power plants. You can see in here switching centers. This one you have here to the right looks like or may look like a container, but it's not. It's longer than 20 meters e-house. You can see here again some other shots with some different devices installed inside. Again, it can be transformers, medium voltage switch gear, UPS, control equipment, anything which needs to be installed inside a shelter, as I mentioned before. And then coming to the renewable branch of our activity, we have the PV field, which has been really relevant during the last 10 years or 15 years, which is at the time that iQuord was born, was 15 years ago. So we've been active in the renewable sector from the get-go. So we deliver power stations for mainly PV power plants, delivery stations, even modular substations, and here is where we have battery energy storage. And at the end, we are going to make the connection between data centers and battery energy storage. Again, you are going to be seeing a few shots of what our products look like. Here you have a power station in an open skid, metallic skid, which this means that this equipment, this PCS, well, in this case, these central PV inverters, transformers, and medium voltage switchgear, they are outdoor rated. They do not need to be installed indoor. They could, but they do not need to be installed indoor. Another type of power station with a different type of PV central inverter. Here you have some string transformer centers for connecting string PV inverters. You can see here this big size low voltage cabinets for connecting said PV string inverters. Here you have a switching center. Here you have even a modular substation, so everything is built, assembled, and tested at our facilities. So this saves a lot of time, money, troubles which may pop up when you are working or you are doing civil works on site. So all of this you can really bring the let's say the unexpected troubles down to a minimum and save a lot of time and money and meet your deadlines when you are working with this type of solutions, these modular, prefabricated modular solutions. So now we get to the battery energy storage solutions, which, as I said before, we're going to make the connection with data centers at the end. A lot of these things have already been covered by my two colleagues. I will go very quickly, but we will get a little more into detail of what these solutions look like so that you can see them or not see them, but you can somehow picture how they will look like in your data center facility. This slide in particular refers explicitly to CNI systems, behind the meter systems, but this is relevant because you can see here grid ancillary services, arbitrage, peak shaving, energy shifting, time of use. So these are concepts which have been mentioned by Juan Carlos, but we will touch on them later on, and these are going to be, let's say, the key points for deploying a battery energy storage system into a data center scheme. So what is a BESS? And again, Juan Carlos already mentioned, but I'm going to place the focus here on what we deliver. So as opposed to a battery manufacturer, such as our friends at Pylontech, if I'm not wrong, they deliver the battery, the DC side, so the batteries. We as an integrator, we assemble everything which you need in a battery energy storage plant, and we are responsible for this, and we commission the whole thing, and we give you the full warranty of all the equipment which is involved in there. What equipment is involved in there? So we have we could say the boxes which you see here in this small purple boxes. You have in the one to the left, you have the DC block, which are batteries plus the battery management system, which is in our case provided by the battery manufacturer. Then you have what is usually called the powertrain, which encompasses the PCS, power conversion system, or bidirectional inverter. As Juan Carlos mentioned, it allows you to either charge or discharge the batteries, plus the medium voltage elements, which can be needed or not, depending on if you are connecting to a low voltage grid or a medium voltage grid. And then you have like the brains of the system, which is the energy management system, the EMS. So all of this inside these purple boxes, this is what we deliver in the manner of a turnkey solution, which can have really many different, let's say, incarnations, and we are going to touch on them right after this slide. This is another way to see it. So what can you expect from iQuord or any other integrator to deliver? Mainly what, let's say, the boxes which are in green here in this flow diagram. So what we do not deliver is the installation. So we are not an EPCist. We do not do installation. We do not do the balance of plant, civil works, cabling, and we do not perform O&M of the whole plant. We can perform O&M of the devices, of the equipment we deliver. This is not usual. The most appropriate way to proceed is to provide training to the end customer, so that we are left, let's say, only for first level issues which need our intervention, and maybe also that of the manufacturer of the equipment. So now we get to the point where we are going to start seeing what these solutions look like. So being an integrator, as iQuord is, the main point you can expect is flexibility. So this is just like a sneak peek view of what we can do. And if you have any other needs or requirements, anything that you can think of, this is what we are here for. So we deliver turnkey solution, customized turnkey solutions. But going from easy to more complex, let's say, you can think of here to the left of 20-foot containers. So little energy you can place in there. This is mostly used when there's an application in which it is requested to have everything inside one unique, only one shelter. So you have to place in there batteries, PCS, even transformer, the EMS, everything in there. So there's really little space left for installing a lot of energy, a lot of racks. You can increase this, of course, by going to a higher container, which would be this one in the middle, the 40-foot container. And then if you need to scale things up, which can be the case, as you will see in a data center, then you can go for these solutions to the right, which would be the skids, usually with outdoor rated equipment installed, as already mentioned, battery cabinets, master cabinets for coordinating several battery cabinets, the PCS, and then transformer, medium voltage switch gear, and so forth. And then here to the right, you have a proper, let's say, e-house in which batteries have been installed inside, which will be coupled with this you have here to the far right, down right corner of the screen, which is your customary power station with central PCS, transformer, and medium voltage switch gear. So the building blocks which we are using for combining them into as many different solutions as you may need are these. This is just a very simplistic view. So we can have PCS, different types of PCS. We are going to be seeing them in detail in the next slide. So string PCS, what we have called mini central PCS, so resembling PV inverters, central PCS. Then we get to of course, we have control, which means the EMS plus additional needed devices. And then you have the DC side, which can have can be delivered as battery cabinets coordinated by a master controller, can be delivered in the form of battery containers, or can be delivered, or in this case, iQuord would be purchasing the naked, so to speak. Please allow me to use this expression, the naked battery racks, and we would be installing them inside a tailor-made, customized e-house. So this means usually sizes in megawatt hours bigger than that of your customary standard 20-feet battery containers. So a very quick summary of these devices, which mainly means PCS and batteries. You will have these presentations, so you can have a look at them. So going from the left, you have like the small PCSs, then you have the string ones, then you have the central smaller ones, and then to the right, you have the central bigger ones. So all of them have like a sweet spot type of battery energy storage plant, meaning size, mainly size, megawatts and megawatt hours, in which they are usable or most suited for being deployed. Think about AC voltage, DC voltage they can manage, and power, its size. These are the three main parameters to look at when designing a battery energy storage plant. And then the batteries. So to the left, we have well, these are only the types of battery cabinets we use. There are more in the market, of course. And what I mean here by battery cabinet and rack is that we can use either the fully finalized battery cabinet delivered by the likes of Pylontech, for instance, or we can buy the naked, so to speak, the naked battery rack, and we will assemble and install all the rest of needed installations that the batteries need in order to work. And then here to the right, you have the battery containers. Just keep in mind this, which Juan Carlos already mentioned about the C-rate. This is really relevant. I will only mention that when you have batteries that are 1C rated, you can charge and discharge them in 1 hour, but not less than that. So the C rate of a batteries is always like the quickest way you can manage to charge or discharge the battery. So keep that in mind and take a look at these graphs, and you will get, I hope, a clear picture of how to select the different components of your battery energy storage plant. And in any case, we are here to assist, of course, from iQuord. And then finally, I will go very quickly. These are just some examples and some photos of plants solutions we have delivered, where you can see different incarnations, may I say, of this battery energy storage system. So here to the left, you have the small ones. I would say below 1 megawatt hour, very usually connected in low voltage. So we are using this small PCS, which has a direct output at 400 volts AC, and you do not need a transformer. Then this changes when you go to the right, and you are talking usually above 1 megawatt hour capacity installed. Then you will very likely be connecting to voltages above, medium and high voltages. So you will need a transformer and medium voltage switchgear. And this can take, again, very different forms. So you can have like a pure DC block here to the left, up here to the left, which I'm trying to pinpoint right now. You have cabinets plus master cabinet. Then you can have also the option to the right of everything which involves DC, having all of these devices together, so battery cabinets, master cabinets, and the PCS, and then you are left with only transformer and medium voltage switchgear. Or you can take the approach of your customary, as is the customary way in a PV plant, and you can have, as you see below, your customary power station with central PCS.
Ángel, por favor, tienes que acabar, por favor.
Okay.
Te lo dije ya varias veces, pero no sé si me estás viendo.
Excuse me, Belén, I didn't see you. So
okay.
I didn't hear it. So very quickly, just some photographs of some plants we have delivered with cabinets, central PCSs, the same thing but inside a container in this case because of privacy issues. Small ones with string PCSs, the same thing here. And then you can see here an e-house in which you can store or you can install up to 10 megawatt hour worth of batteries in as maximum 20 meters long and 5 meters wide e-house. So this is mostly for big size plants, or can be the case of use in a data center. And then I have some examples here. You can see of this type of applications in which we have delivered this sort of e-houses in which we buy the naked racks from the battery manufacturer. And then here at the end, we get, this is my last slide, we get to the data center part. In here, I just wanted to show an application of a data center in which we have delivered this modular type of e-houses in order to accommodate the electrical systems of the data center. So please just take a look at the slide once you receive it, and just keep in mind that with a battery energy storage system, you can manage the energy consumption of your data center, but you can do so much more also, which is maybe cover power grid outages, and even, let's say, play with the energy and go to the market, energy arbitrage and some other type of grid ancillary services markets. That's it. Thank you.
That was a long it. So please, can I just have quickly Juan Carlos and Ángel back? And sorry, and also Juan Carlos and Juan Jose. We're going to really quickly answer a few of the questions, if I may. I just wanted to ask two very specific ones that I think are important. One, the water usage, that I think is a very important question. Juan Jose, how much water does this use? And very specifically, I ask, please, like, how does it change? I also want to understand very much, how does it change the AI servers as we know them from what they're going to be in 5 years?
Okay. Well, first of all, and that I think we spoke before about the different types of data centers, and that's a key issue. If you go to a very traditional colocation data center, you have to think about huge tanks of water, usually on the rooftop, but that's not how things are evolving. If we are speaking about Spain, I would like also to point out another thing. But speaking about how things are evolving in the industry right now, how the density, the requirements of density that in the IT rooms of the data centers are growing, meaning multiplying by 10, 20 times what it used to be. Right now, water is not the right answer for cooling. Right now, the right answer is the new process of liquid cooling. and that means a completely different structure for a data center, but that depends on the data centers. If you are thinking about AI, then you are thinking about a huge density because that required an incredible computing consumption of energy, and then you have to choose between what kind of liquid cooling system you need. There are mainly 6 different ways to implement it, so it's quite complex. The only thing I would like also to point out, it's in terms of water, meaning that that is key, above all in the construction of a data center phase. Usually it uses the acronym WUE, W-U-E, water usage efficiency. And for instance, in Spain, there is an example that Meta tried to develop in the region of Castilla-La Mancha, a huge campus, and it was stopped because of a very inefficient or huge efficient, I don't know, but they need a huge supply of water. That city, it's called Talavera de la Reina, is very well known for its farm, and then there was a social uproar against the data center, and that's one thing that's key for the development of the data center, and that the social impact. And that's why during the construction, you have to bear in mind where you are going to build the data center, and that's why water is so key. Speaking about Meta, right now they change everything, and they're going through all the town planning process that is quite boring and long in Spain. I hope I answer your question.
I mean, what is this going to look like, Juan Jose? Because I love the idea that there's green, and that they do a lot with renewables. But the reality is, the minute that you start doing this 24/7, it's going to be hard and it's going to be expensive. When you add battery energy storage systems, the price is going to go up. And I don't know. First, I'd like to know whether you foresee this being all PPAs and that other people are going to produce the energy and the data centers are going to be just buying them, or they're going to be the owners of the assets. And second, I'm going to see whether that is going to be quite enough, and we're not going to see situations like in the US where, the server industry for a long time now has been fighting for gas, nuclear, and other, ways of getting energy. So what's your preview for like sort of the Spanish and the European context?
Well, I've just answered a question about the PPAs. I think what in the press, I mentioned that Spain is a very cheap country for energy, and it's true. For instance, in the Q3 of 2024, I read that the prices for the solar PPA in Spain was the cheapest in Europe, speaking about 38.5, 39 euros. And that's that almost half of the price of a solar PPA in Germany or even in France. In the wind farms, in the wind PPAs are something north of 50, I think, still is 20, 30% cheaper than any other all around Europe. And that's why Spain is very cheap. Nevertheless, a data center has to work for 24 hours a day, and you cannot find sun during the night. That's why still we need to connect to the grid, and that's why the location of our campus is so key and so important, so optimal to develop this kind of project. And the way how things are evolving, I answer also a question about well, you have to think that the AI is changing everything. Right now, for instance, you are thinking the new data centers design for AI training, then you don't need to work in the night. And there are some of them. So you can work with renewables. My point is that maybe that could be a type of data centers, but those are not going to be the big part of the data centers. Speaking about usually those AI, I think from training move to inferring, and then you need to speak about latency, then you have to work 24 hours a day and so. And the answer again is to look for storage or for another source of power. And about storage, well, the batteries are a reality. You need the batteries for backup. I have no time to answer a question about. Sorry.
Don't worry, because we don't have a lot of time. Just one more. Can I ask Ángel, please, and Juan Carlos to come back? I just wanted to ask you all whether batteries are enough, sort of the 2 to 4 hours. Guys, can you come back, please, Ángel and
Yes,
well,
I'm here.
Ángel, we couldn't see. And yeah, can we get enough with batteries, or do we need long duration energy storage? Do we need 6 hours plus? This is like a quick answer from each of you, and then we finish the webinar, please. Do we need more than 2 hours? Is 2 hours enough? 4 hours? 6 hours? What are we talking about here?
Well, in my view, I will be very quick. I would say this depends on the financing plan or the profitability plan of the data center. So because you have two main ways to use the battery energy storage system. One would be your direct consumption, the direct consumption of your equipment, and then the second way would be you can also think about playing with energy, as we said before, that you can do energy arbitrage. You can buy cheap energy and then sell it when it's more expensive. And you can also have access to different grid ancillary services markets. So that depends. So I would say long duration, mainly focused on your own consumption, but do not lose sight of the battery energy storage arbitrage application.
What about you, Juan Carlos? Because I understand,
Yeah,
especially
I
AI,
agree.
that it's very like, so if you don't have a battery, you might not be quick enough to attend its needs.
Exactly. And actually, I am fully agree with what Angel said. And at the end, you can also use this system for another purposes as arbitrage, as he said. And at the end, to even to get some benefit from an economical point of view from the batteries, not only to back up the data center, right? So yeah, it will depend on the application, of course.
Okay, perfect. And I don't know, Juan Jose, if you have anything to add from the data center side?
I can tell you about the very short. Okay, in Spain today, the data centers that are operating right now, all of them have invest a lot in batteries, and they are key in order to sustain the backup systems, and that's true. And they pay a lot. It's not up to me to say how much per megawatt, but it's really, really expensive. But by today is a key part of the backup system. Speaking about redundancy, the 24 hours, 7 days per week, and so on. So that's my. I don't know if you want that.
Okay, no, that's fine. Thank you very much, Juan Jose. Thank you very much, Juan Carlos. I can't see anymore. And Angel. And we leave it for today. Thank you very much for everyone in the audience. We will revisit this topic at Sevilla in Red Almacenamiento, 26th, 27th of March. We'll be talking about this in person there. So I hope to see as many of you as possible to look into this opportunity further. Thank you very much and see you in the next webinar. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Bye.
much. Bye. Bye.